Hello everyone, it is the last day of 2024, and as this year comes to a close, that means it's time for those Balisong cases to open up to show off those collections. I always enjoy getting to watch videos where people share a little bit about every Balisong in their collection, and I hope you do too, because this one is by far my longest video yet. I'll be going through each of the Balisongs I own and share a little bit about why I got each one, what role it served in my collection then, what I think about it now, and how often I pick it up to flip. I'd love to hear what's in your collection too, so please drop a list in the comments. Let's get right into it. So as you can see before you, we have a timeline here. And the idea I have for this video is as I talk about a Balisong, I'll place it on the timeline. And this will be to scale so you can see the time gap between each Balisong. And I'll go through and share a little bit about each Balisong and how it fits into my collection at the time and currently. So to help visualize the timeline as we go through, I have this off-brand Lego replica of myself, which I'll place along the timeline as I'm speaking about it. So now the first Balisong I ever flipped was actually this Lego one that I made out of Technic pieces and a Bionicle blade. I have myself just out of frame over there because technically I would be like 8 feet over that way, but there's a wall over there. And I just thought it makes sense to mention this one because I'm kind of going through all of the Balisongs in like a timeline style. So as you can see, it does not flip very well. I'm not gonna really even try and flip well on it, but you can do a lot of tricks on it. But yeah, I just started with this because I found a little video on how to make it, and I use this blade, which is, now that I know, I mean, it's horrible for chaplains because you could feel it. But anyway, this Balisong just represents just the mentality that I have with flipping, which is just start anywhere you can. If you're watching this video and you don't have a Balisong yet, just see if you can make one out of anything. Okay, so there I am. It's August of 2020, and this is the first real Balisong that I ever got. If you might recognize this from a video that Will Hirsch did back in 2020, which is about a $30 Balisong, which is this one. And as you can see, it is quite heavily modded. I have I ground down the edges of the handles because they sliced me once, and I took out some weight in the handles area, and I'll probably take out some here too. And I made my own little inserts and tried to dye them blue just with a Sharpie. They're just hot glue inserts. But this Balisong is the very first Balisong that I got, and the reason I got it was because I saw Will Hirsch's video on it, and it just seemed really cool, and I thought it'd be really fun to just try and get a Balisong and get into flipping and learn some tricks, because I've been watching a couple of his videos before then. This was the only Balisong I had in my collection for a good amount of time, as you'll see in a second. I flipped it for a few months, and then I didn't flip it for a few months, as you'll see. But yeah, so this Balisong got me into flipping, but then I also eventually stopped flipping. Now, I didn't know this at the time because I hadn't flipped literally anything else before besides that Lego Balisong, which this one is miles better than it. But this Balisong still is not very enjoyable to flip. It is extremely handle biased and like really struggles with fans. I mean, even after like some of the mods that I did, like I took some handle weight out of the liners here. Yeah, it's really short and it's not really great at all, but I'm glad I got it because it was probably one of the better things at the time that you could get on Amazon for this cheap for sure. But yeah, so nowadays, I pretty much never pick this up, and I just kind of have been having fun just trying to mod it. But yeah, so I flipped that Balisong for a good amount of time. I actually got another one for a friend, and we would flip it together and send videos back and forth. That was super fun. But then after a few months, I just wasn't really into Balisongs that much, and I just stopped learning tricks. I wasn't a part of the community at all at that point. It really only flipped Balisongs with that one friend and another friend that got it like a gas station knife. I flipped it for a little bit. But it wasn't until then I started watching Will Hirsch's videos again, and I saw his Amazon unboxing video, and I got this Balisong. This is it was the Benchmade 51 clone, and the one in the video had the Zenith trainer blade, which I really liked, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get this one. But then classic Amazon trash listings, they sent me this other blade. And if you look at I was looking at my history now, and it's like a completely different Balisong, but whatever. Anyway, so this is like a Marcollo Balisong, kind of Benchmade clone-ish. I put tape on the blade because it gets rid of the ring. But this Balisong is funny, like when I got it, I didn't like instantly love it more than my other one, even though this one is so much better. It was like, I guess I was just so used to that one, I just didn't realize that this one was better. I don't know, kind of weird. But it wasn't until after I got the Volp, and then I would go back to flipping this one more. This one is actually still kind of fun. It's really janky. The tolerances are really bad, as you can see. But yeah, this one is honestly pretty good to flip considering what it is. Nowadays, I would not recommend it for sure. The chaplains are so uncomfortable because this is like digging into my finger as I do the chaplain. But yeah, so this one is the one that I used to pick up a little bit, like as a beater and whatnot, take it on walks with me. Now I use my Canyon. But yeah, also when I ordered this one, I also got these two CCCs. They were like $12 for both of them. I do not recommend these. They're definitely really heavy and not that good, and they're short. I got this one because I kind of sharpened it. It's really not that sharp, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of mess around with. But they also kind of surprisingly aren't too bad to flip, honestly, but I still do not recommend these. So these technically would also go here, but I'm just gonna leave them down so I don't clutter the space. Yeah, I flipped these balisongs for a little bit for the rest of 2022. I still wasn't like a part of the community per se. This was before my YouTube channel. And then in October of 2022 is when the Vulp came out, and I got this one, which you will probably recognize if you've seen any other videos on my channel pretty much. But this Vulp was one of the second kind of batch. I mean, I know the Vulps didn't really do like batch drops, but the Vulp was like being announced, and I was watching Will's channel, and so I was excited to get one. And then they made the first batch, and that one had like the T8 hardware that wasn't hardened and whatnot. And then once the V2, they're not really officially V2, but the second drop of the Vulps that came out had the T10 hardware, and that's when I got this one. And so this is like one of like the original Vulps. And so yeah, I got this in 2022, and I have basically been flipping consistently ever since that. This was, I remember still like that very first time I just picked this up and like did just a flip on it. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is a different caliber of thing than these other ones are. This was my main flipper for so long in my collection. And I don't know whether it was just because it just happened to fit my preferences the most, or I was just so used to it. Probably a little bit of both. But yeah, this was definitely, I learned a vast majority of my tricks on it. I made up lots of tricks on it. And yeah, I just had a really good time flipping this thing. This is the reason why I'm still in this hobby, is because of this Vulp for sure. Yeah, so I got this balisong because I really wanted an actual like nicer balisong trainer, and it did the job excellently. And this definitely served as my main flipper for quite a long time. And so yeah, it did its job very nicely. Nowadays, how often do I pick this balisong up? Honestly, I pick it up mostly to record videos. I enjoy using this balisong in my videos. Mainly, for most of the time, it was because this was just what I was flipping mostly. So it just made sense when it was time to make a video that I would pick up the Vulp, because that's what I always would flip. But as it's gone on, I feel like it's just kind of iconic on this channel. Like so many of my videos have the Vulp, and so it just kind of, I don't know, just makes sense to use. But it's also cool because it is a more accessible balisong that I know a lot of people have, and so it kind of like, you know, if you see me doing whatever tricks I'm doing with this balisong, you're not going to feel like you need to get a more expensive balisong to be able to learn a trick. Now, I do not really pick this balisong up very much to flip it anymore, and the reason for that being I have the Teflon Vulp, and the feel in the hand, just the comfort and the sound, the better tolerances, it just makes it more enjoyable to flip. I still love this color of the Vulp the most, but yeah, so that's why I just don't really flip this balisong very much when I'm just picking something up to flip. But I definitely have gotten my money's worth out of it, and it will always stay in my collection because of just that special place that it holds with this channel. And then next up in March, I got the BB Firefly V2 from a giveaway, and I just recently traded that as part of the trade up challenge. I just wanted to mention it. And then in June, I got this balisong here, which is an unnamed G10 handled steel blade balisong that I got from Amazon. And I got this balisong mainly just because I really like the look. I just like specifically the Jade G10, which is apparently just the undyed look of G10. As you can see, I really like it. I have 3 pocket knives with the JG10. Yeah, so I just got it because of the look, and it was cheap. It was like $32, I think. And I just wanted to try it out, try out something different. And I didn't flip it more than my Vault, like I didn't replace it, just because the balance is, as I figured it would be, it is very blade biased. I mean, you have a steel handle, and you have these steel pivots, or I guess just pieces in the end. But the rest of the handle is just G10, which is plastic. And I mean, it's a hard plastic. I don't know how dense it is, but it's plastic, you know, so it's not anywhere near the weight of another metal like aluminum even. But yeah, so I enjoyed flipping this balisong, even though it is blade biased. I feel like it's one of the balisongs that even nowadays when I pick it up, it definitely feels different and a little weird, but the more that I flip it, when I get used to it, I do really enjoy it. So one of the things that I do like about it is that it is a metal balisong. I mean, the handles are like plastic, but the blade is metal, and it flips like a metal balisong. I mean, it's got like a kind of a, you know, a weird balance where it's like that blade biased balance. Blade biased, plus it does have just a lot of like the end weight, but it's something that I can get used to and really enjoy when I am used to it. And yeah, it's very light, but it flips like a more standard metal balisong. So it's really nice to have that option. But yeah, I just really like the look. Now, I don't pick this balisong up a ton just because I just have more balisongs now, and so I just don't have as much time for all of them, I guess. But I do tend to pick this one up more so as like a fidgety kind of thing, like if I'm just like flipping with my other hand or something while I'm doing something else, just because it is so light, but it still does offer that kind of like metal balisong feel, and so I do enjoy it. So I do enjoy it for that reason. Now, this one is something that's on and off Amazon all the time, but if you do see it on Amazon and you like the look of it, then I would say go for it if you want to try out something really unique and that looks cool. Just don't get it if you need to have handle bias or like standard performant balisongs in order to enjoy them, because it's definitely not that, but it is fun. And moving on to September of 2023, and I picked up this balisong. Now, this one is my first and only balisong that I got from AliExpress, and I saw this one. It was $10, so, you know, for $10, it's honestly pretty amazing. Now, I think I've seen this on Amazon under the brand name Kidas, and so I've seen it normally between like upper mid-20s to like low 30s. So it's about $30 normally. So for a third of the price at $10, including shipping, I mean, that's a pretty good steal. Now, this one is on bushings. Nope. Now, this one is on bearings. And so that is something that's definitely different and unique about it in my collection, although those two are both on bearings, but this is the only like aluminum one on bearings. But I don't mind it. I think they're pretty good. Honestly, I don't really feel like it's all too different from bushings. At least this one isn't. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, I got this one because it was $10, and I really like the design. It's very like clean, very Squid Industries-esque, but it's definitely not a clone. But, you know, it just uses that very simple circular and lines kind of pattern. It has this kind of cool blade that reminds me of like the lights in the Death Star. But I do enjoy flipping this one from time to time. I feel like it's similar to the JG10 one, where don't pick it up that often, but usually when I do, it's just if I just am fidgeting with something or like kind of mindlessly flipping, maybe in my other hand, just because it's a different experience. But yeah, this one is for $10, an amazing deal. If you can find it for that, I would not spend $30 on it now, just because I feel like there's just better options that are close to that price range. But yeah, only like 1 month later in October, I got the Squiddy A. Now, the reason I got this one is because I had an Amazon gift card, and I was looking around Amazon, and like I had just gotten, you know, 2 just kind of like unnamed Amazon balisongs. And so I really was like, I really kind of want something from like an actual known brand. And I was like, you know, Squid Industries does have some balisongs on Amazon. Like they do have the Squiddy B, and I had like a $50 gift card. So it's like, just for $5 more, I could get a Squiddy B. But I'd never really been a fan of all one color balisongs, and I just really liked the look of the Ultem of the Squiddy A. And so I did end up, paying was like 35 or 30 more than the Squiddy B, 35 plus like the gift card for this Balisong, which obviously, it's gift card is still, money, but it definitely didn't feel like I was paying $85 for this. So that was definitely an easier purchase. I'm really glad I got the Squiddy A. I really like the Ultem. I actually got some Ultem guitar picks because I just think Ultem is really cool. And I also got this Civivi Mini Praxis with the Ultem handles and the black blade. So they kind of match. By kind of, I mean they do match. But yeah, I really just like the Ultem, the way that it looks, and I'm very glad I got the Squiddy A because I like being able to distinguish the handles from the blade very easily. And just because like dark Balisongs can be hard to see like on my floor or whatnot in videos and just if it's dark out. But I have been really enjoying my Squiddy A. It's definitely a Balisong that I've been able to enjoy more and more. I really appreciate more and more just as I have had more time with it in my collection. And just because it's like this Balisong is so unique and has so many different reasons that I like it all wrapped up into one package. And so I've been able to experience that over time and whatnot. So I guess to be more specific, like what do I like about it? The first thing I noticed about it was just how bouncy it is. Like obviously it's plastic, so it's like the handles are really squishy and like really bouncy. And so it's kind of hard to describe, but it definitely just feels bouncier and whatnot. I think also because the Ultem of the handles and the bounciness of it, it just kind of reminds me of like the honey blocks from Minecraft. That's what I feel like if those were a Balisong, this is what it would be. But whatever, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so there's the bounciness of the feel in the hand. Then of course it's plastic, and so that's another thing which is pretty obvious, but just like the weight of it. And so it is lighter, which is fantastic for if you need a break. So I feel like anytime, I need a break from flipping heavier Balisongs, or if I'm just like, say, warming up in the morning after waking up or something, it's nice to be able to flip something that's light. Another advantage of the weight is it helps you to refine and learn tricks that I'm working on. So I feel like sometimes certain tricks can be easier to, just practice on a lighter Balisong. And I don't know, they just like are different to perform on a lighter Balisong. And I think whether it's something that just takes more finger dexterity or strength to pull off, I feel like the Squiddy can help me with that. Or if it just, I don't know, like something like if I'm just trying to spam and work on like my double scissors or something, it's just lighter on the hands for extended practice sessions. And so that's really nice. Another thing that I absolutely love about the Squiddy is its sound. It is so quiet. Like, it is so quiet. And that is something that I love about this because when I'm flipping around other people, I can flip this and not be as bothersome. Because I'm sure all of you know, if you flipped around anybody that, especially if they are not a Balisong flipper themselves, flipping a Balisong can be rather annoying if you're not the one flipping it, just from like the sound. And even personally, sometimes I get tired of listening to loud Balisongs. So I really enjoy the Squiddy for that reason. And on top of that, because this is TSA safe, this Balisong has been fantastic when I've been able to take it on different trips. So I've only taken it on one plane flight, but it was invaluable to have on that trip because I wasn't driving for a lot of the trip, and I got to spend the car rides just flipping this and just getting to enjoy, coming up with new tricks and whatnot. That's another thing is like, I feel like with the plastic, with the lighter weight and just the way it flips, sometimes there's certain tricks that, you're kind of just more likely to come up with. And so it's like super fun as a like way to come up with something else, kind of get like a different angle to approach things creatively, whatever. So being able to enjoy that, flip in the car and not have people be annoyed at me because it's so loud. And the sound of the Balisong is just drowned out by the car. This makes it just super fun. And so I feel like the Squiddy just has that whole package to it. Like it's got the look. I mean, just look at the way that it glows. Super cool. It's got the look of the Ultem and the black, and it's got the weight. It's got just the quietness and the fact that I can take it places. This is definitely a Balisong where I feel like a good plastic balisong, especially one that has like those qualities, is a vital part of any flipper's collection. And I would say, like, while I like this balisong so much, most certainly would not be my one pick, right? Not even close. Like, I would pick a metal balisong all day. But I would say that if I only had to pick 2 balisongs, there's a good chance that the Squiddy A would be on my list. And if I could only pick 3, then it most certainly would, just because, yeah, it just has all of those things going for it. That was a really long one, but very soon after, and this was in December, for Christmas, I got this balisong right here. And it's actually kind of funny because I was just talking about the Squiddy A and how I like it so much. And I was visiting my parents for Christmas, and I was flipping my Squiddy A because I brought it with me. And I was having so much fun, but then I was also like really wanting, missing just the feeling of flipping a metal balisong. And then my mom actually got this balisong for me. We did like a Secret Santa, and she knows that I like balisongs, and so she got this one for me, which was super cool. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. Thank you, Mom. But yeah, getting this one and having a metal balisong to flip again, it just reminded me of how enjoyable it is to flip just an actual metal balisong. But yeah, that's why I got this balisong. And I would say that this balisong, this is another one of the Amazon balisongs. I don't know if it has like a real brand name or whatever, but it has this Mako, pretty much just like the Mako blades, a little bit different. And then the handles are different, but they are like exactly like the Vulp, honestly, like in the dimensions. And the coating on them is definitely very different. But yeah, the jimping is very similar. The handle dimensions very similar. You even have like kind of a chevron pattern here. So they're very similar. But yeah, I haven't flipped this one a ton, but I'm thinking about it would be really fun to try and put some speed channels in it or something, kind of mod it a little bit and get to enjoy doing that. And so I might do that at some point in the future. Obviously, like, that would be pretty difficult. And I don't want it to be janky, so we'll see if I can figure out how to do that. But yeah, this balisong is one that I don't flip a ton, but I feel like it's also just hard because I have so many balisongs now. But I did enjoy flipping it when I got it. But yeah, so. Now moving on into 2024, in January, I got this Squid Trainer V4. Now, this was the first balisong that was ever sent to me for free for the purpose of making videos on. And it was just super cool. I just remember still getting the email from one of the people at Squid Industries. And I was like, not sure if it was just like, okay, I gotta make sure this is not a scam or whatnot, because I was just really surprised that they were reaching out to me to make some videos for them. But I am just super thankful. It definitely marks a turn in my collection, as you will see going forward. But yeah, it was just super fun to make that video on it. The Squid Trainer, so that's why I got the Squid Trainer. And the place that I kind of held in my collection was, surprisingly, it didn't just instantly replace my Vulp. Like, up until this point, I'm still mostly just flipping the Vulp. Like, that's my main flipper. That's the one that I'm learning all my tricks on, still making like all my videos with. So when I got this one, it just didn't quite fit my preferences more. Like, it was heavier and it carried more momentum. And honestly, as I've had this more and I've flipped it more, I've just come to enjoy it. I still flipped the Squid Trainer a good amount back then, but it didn't like instantly replace the Vulp as like my main primary flipper. I wouldn't say that this ever like has really been my primary flipper, but it is something that I have flipped a good amount since I got it, just because it just feels really high quality in the hand and it's really enjoyable, super grippy, all of that good stuff. And so I do enjoy flipping this. I think the main thing that I would say about the Squid Trainer now that I've had it longer is that I don't really care about the weight. Like, I just don't really see it as being heavy anymore. I don't know. Like, it definitely still is heavier than something like the Vulp, and it definitely carries a good amount of momentum, but I just don't really think about it very much when I'm flipping. And so I just kind of enjoy flipping it while I do, and I'm not really bothered by the weight. I don't know. I feel like it's something when like I'm focusing too much on trying to figure out, I don't know, like, is this balisong heavy? How does it carry momentum? All of that. I feel like I can get overly focused on that to where it's like, oh yeah, I'm bothered by how heavy it is or whatnot. But when I'm just kind of flipping, I just enjoy the balisong for what it is and just have fun. So there's that. So I really enjoy the Squid Trainer for sure. Now moving on to March of 2024, I got the Nabali's Canyon, and I have here the acid wash trainer version, because there's 4 different versions. So everything I'm saying is directly applied to this one. This is a balisong that I would like to make a review of. I mean, I would like to make a review of a good number of my balisongs that I have not yet. Now, the reason I got this balisong is because it was $40, and I had some money on Amazon, so I got it off Amazon, and it was $40. And I really just wanted to try it out. It was all steel, pinsless. I feel like everybody was, getting one because of just like that insane value proposition. And I thought it would be a really cool addition to my collection because it would also be a really good beater, which is definitely the case. Now, I don't flip outside, like over concrete or whatnot, that often. So I don't really have occasions where I would beat my knives anyway. But anytime I do go out, like if I'm going on a walk or something around the neighborhood, I do take the Canyon. So that's really the role that it has in my collection primarily. It definitely feels very unique in the hands because it is so skeletonized, and it is also stainless steel. And it's honestly one that is really good and enjoyable to flip. But I think there's just other things in my collection that I enjoy flipping a little bit more. It also is it's not super loud, but it has a lot of high-pitched kind of sounds on it. And so I think that's why it can also be, sometimes if I flip it a lot, it can just be kind of harsh on my ears. But overall, I do enjoy this balisong quite a lot. It's just one of the situations where I just have so many, and so I don't usually pick this one up. Just because while it is fun, I do have other things that I prefer to flip more than this one generally. But this is a fantastic balisong to have as a beater and to just have in your collection if that's something that you are interested in. Yeah, overall, this balisong is the one I take with me when I'm worried about dropping it on hard surfaces. Now, moving along to July of 2024, I actually got 2 balisongs. I got the Cheese and the Teflon Volt. Now, these were both sent to me by Nabali's. I actually reached out and asked them if they would want to send me a Teflon Volt so I can make a video on it, and which they did, which was super cool, and I'm very thankful for that. And they also asked if I wanted a cheese, and I said, of course, absolutely. The cheese actually came first, so I'll talk about that one first. Now, the cheese was the first time that I got to try a balisong that had not yet come out, that nobody had made any videos on, of course. And I was able to form my own opinions on it and then share those opinions with all of you. And that was such a cool experience. I am super thankful for what I get to do with this channel, and that I get to be sent balisongs for free to review and share with all of you. So yes, I did make a full review on the cheese. I think that was some oil that leaked out of the pivots, as it does. But yeah, so I made a full review of the cheese, and so that was, why I got this balisong, is because Nabali's asked if I wanted to review it, and I said, of course. And I really enjoy the cheese. It is super fun. It was the first balisong I had to try out with the Teflon coating, which I really enjoy. I have, as you can see, been pretty gentle with this. I haven't taken it anywhere, as I mentioned earlier. I don't really beat my balisongs anyway, but I definitely don't want the Teflon coating to come off. As you can see, the Zen pin is kind of coming out, which you'll notice is the same way on the Teflon Volt. Actually, both of them are coming out slightly. So that's not super great, but I do think that the Teflon coating is keeping it from coming out faster, maybe. I don't know. So I really enjoy the cheese. It is a really fun balisong. Once again, I just feel like I don't get to flip my balisongs all as much as I would like, but this is definitely a top tier budget pick. It is super fun. It carries momentum really well. The handles feel definitely larger, but not too big than what I'm used to. The Chaplin performance is excellent. It's super fun to do, aerials to 0 Gs and whatnot on this. But yeah, so I really enjoy the cheese. Ultimately, I feel like I haven't been picking it up as much recently, just because I've had other balisongs that I've been flipping more because I'm working on reviews and different videos on them. But I really do enjoy the cheese, and it is a fantastic part of this collection. And I'm really thankful that I get to have it and flip it. Every time I pick up the cheese, I'm reminded about how fun it is, and it is definitely a solid choice for anybody who wants to add something cheesy to their collection. Now as for the Teflon Vulp, which I also got in July of 2024, this has completely replaced my previous Vulp. I mean, in everything except for in videos, just simply because of the look. I mean, having a balisong has the blade different color from the handles, and it's just easier to see on camera and whatnot. But other than that, the Teflon Vulp has totally replaced in just like my everyday flipping of that regular Vulp. Just between like the tolerances being so much better in the sound and the feel in the hand with the Teflon coating, especially on the chevrons, I feel like it's still grippy enough, but it's so much more comfortable. The Teflon Vulp is just so much more enjoyable to flip for me. Now it's a shame, I just really do like the look of that color of the blue, but the white also, all the white looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of all one color balisongs. Like with the Canyon, it being all black, it's like hard to see if like it's not bright in this very room, especially with the carpet being kind of like a dark gray. And so I'm just very thankful I have the white one because it is a lot easier to see. And it does look really cool in person. But yeah, so it does have the ring, which it will go away if it either doesn't have enough oil or if it's not tightened down enough. But the ring is actually, I'm not a huge fan, typically not a huge fan of ringing balisongs, but I do like the one on the Teflon Vulp. It's pretty subtle. So yeah, I do like it. Overall, I do pick this balisong up a good amount just because it is basically like my Vulp now, where because even though it does have like the Teflon coating and so it does have those differences, it flips the same as the Vulp. Like the balance is completely the same. The chaplains are the same. And so it's just still very something that I'm very much used to. And so that's nice and I enjoy that. But yeah, so I do really like the Teflon Vulp and I think it's definitely worth the extra, $10 to upgrade to that. I do want to make a full video comparing them at one point, but yeah, the Teflon Vulp is really great. I definitely pick it up a good amount in my collection, and I'm sure I will continue to do so. Moving on, in October of 2024, I got the Frank P. Will from LDY reached out to me and asked if I wanted a unit of something to review and to like make a video about the LDY competition. And I ended up getting this Frank P, which has been really fun. It is my second, as you can see, plastic balisong, and I really do enjoy it. I made that first impressions video, and I would like to make a follow-up video on this one as well. Basically, I would say it's pretty similar to the Squiddy A, except the closing sound is so loud, and it's a bit slipperier, I think. I just feel like this POM plastic, or maybe it's like the texture that's on it, which isn't very much texture, but it's just a little bit more slippery. Something I forgot to mention with the Squiddy A, but as well, like with choker fans, I like usually end up doing them on the bite handle when I'm flipping it because it has the bite handle marker, which kind of like allows my hand to not just slip off from the balisong. Which, I mean, as you can see, like I'm able to do choker fans on it just fine, but I do find that sometimes like the choker fans, they're more likely to slip off. Similarly to with the Squiddy A, how the handles can just be very slippery at the ends. I'm curious about the Frank Z because I think that jimping at the ends would really help this balisong, especially like for ladders. Choker fans are okay, but ladders definitely, you have to really focus. It's like you definitely can do ladders on the Frank P, but it's just, you really have to be gripping it pretty tight and locked in on that to make sure it doesn't slip out. But overall, I mean, for $32, $33, this balisong really cannot be beat in that price range. So, like I said earlier, I think a good plastic balisong is important for everybody to have in their collection. And I think the Frank P really brings the accessibility, makes it a lot more accessible. So I really like the Frank P. The opening sound is nice and quiet. I mean, it sounds really good. It's nice and quiet, but the closing sound is just too loud for me. Because obviously I'm making it, like, it can be really loud, but even just regularly, It's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it's definitely a lot louder than the Squiddy A. So I do pick this one up when I'm looking for something lighter to flip for sure, and I do really enjoy it. Yeah, so there's the Frank P. Go around here. Now, not too long after, Will reached out to me again asking which Sirius I would like, because they were sending out review units, which I was super excited about. I've been seeing a lot of videos on it, and it just looks super sick. And I knew I wanted the Tanto blade. I wasn't exactly sure which color I wanted, if I wanted like the cyan, the purple, or the blue. And I'm very glad, but they ended up sending me the Tanto with the blue color, which I am not sure why I didn't just instantly pick this one, because it looks fantastic. It is pretty much the same color as the Volp, and I just love this color. And I got it in December of 2024. So I have been enjoying this knife like crazy. And I can actually call it a knife because it is actually a knife. Now it is dull, and the tip is not super sharp. I dulled it a little bit, but you can still, you know. Anyway, I've been enjoying this knife like crazy. I have a first impressions video that I will make, so I'm gonna keep this short, and I will be making a full review on this. It'll probably be one of the first videos out in the next year or in the new year, but I just wanna say that, yeah, so you know why I got this knife for review, so you will be able to see that. And right now in my collection, I would say this is my favorite Balisong. Now, of course, I'm very aware that I am very much prone to the honeymoon effect. Like when I first get a Balisong, I'm always like, oh, it's super great, and here's all the things that I like about it. And then as I have it, get it, you know, flip it a little bit more and just have it in my collection longer, I'm like, okay, I can see, you know, I'm starting to notice the things that I don't like as much, or the reasons why I like other Balisongs more, and so that's why I end up picking those up again. So without that all being said, I do really enjoy this Balisong. It's fantastically grippy. It definitely is noticeable, like you feel it in your hands because there's so many lines. So that's one thing maybe I'm not like a huge fan of, but overall it definitely has a nice performance because of the grip. Now I would say that this one, yeah, definitely is my favorite Balisong in my collection right now to flip. I think probably my least favorite part about it though is just how loud it is. Like the sound is good, but it's just super loud, and I much prefer quiet Balisongs. Like if I could choose and have Balisongs just be completely silent, I would, just because it would be less annoying for other people, but also when I'm flipping for long periods of time, sometimes my ears get pretty tired. I really do like this Balisong. I think it is fantastic for the price and for being live blade. I've been having so much fun with it. It just feels just really natural to flip. But yeah, I'm really excited to just share all of my thoughts and opinions about this Balisong in that full review. But for right now, I've just been really enjoying it. I did use this Balisong for my LDY competition clip, which is really fun. If you haven't seen that, you should go check it out. But yeah, I really enjoy this Balisong. But it is not technically the most recent addition to my collection. I did get the Sirius before in December on like the 5th. And then on the 20th, I got this. This is the Glider Pacific. Now this Balisong I got as a part of the Trade Up Challenge. So if you have not seen those videos, you should check those out. We'll see, depending on when you're watching this, you know, maybe a lot has changed. Hopefully this is no longer in my collection. In the video that I made talking about it, I talked about how I really don't want to give this Balisong up, but I'm trying to, because it's part of my Trade Up Challenge. And I hope I can continue to trade this Balisong up for Balisongs of increasing value so I can make it to Blade Show of 2025. But ultimately I decided, you know, I just wanted to put this in my collection video simply because it is in my collection. So, you know, it makes sense right now to include it. And also because this video will be kind of like a time capsule of all of the Balisongs basically that I've ever flipped, because I pretty much only ever flipped the Balisongs in my own collection. But overall, I really do like this Balisong. I do enjoy all three of the weight configurations to varying degrees. I do feel like I can see like how they are a bit like wonky and not like super standard, but I think it's enjoyable. I think similarly to how with my like unnamed Jade G10 Balisong, where it's weird, but I enjoy it. And so I feel like it's the same kind of way with with the Pacific. I can see how without the weights in, it's kind of weird, but I can come to enjoy it. And I use the medium weights the most, and I've also used the heavy weights, and I enjoy those as well, but it definitely does feel very heavy. Yeah, definitely a lot of end weight. But yeah, as I'm recording this, I got this Balisong 1 week ago, and I've been flipping it a lot because I, was trying to get my thoughts down for a video, but also, that was close. But also, I just really enjoying it, and I know it's going to be leaving my collection at some point in the near future, hopefully. So I just want to, be able to enjoy it while it's in my collection. And we'll see with the other Balisongs that I will hopefully get to trade and flip in this collection or in this challenge. But this Pacific is definitely one where I could see myself wanting to get one in the future if I ever have the opportunity to trade again. Because, I really like it. And with that being said, I will place it right here at the end. It's not really room, but there you go. And here we are, right at the end of 2025. And so here it is. Here is my full collection, pretty much. Of course, I have these two CCCs and this Lego one, which doesn't really count. But then I also have this Carrot Balisong, and I forgot to figure out when I got it exactly. I think it was somewhere around there. But yeah, technically this is in my collection. So, woohoo, it was $3. It's a joke. I also have the really small one, but I gave that one to my kids. They like to play with it. My daughter especially, whenever she sees me flipping it in my Balisong, she says, Bally, Bally, and then asks me for one. So I give her this one if her smaller Carrot Balisong is downstairs or something. So she enjoys flipping this one the most. And also, because I dropped my Balisong so much, she's learned to now she just picks up this Balisong and then throws it on the ground and then looks at me and smiles, because she's doing what I do a lot, which is drop my Balisongs. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and the format of the timeline of all of my Balisongs that I've owned. As you can see, I started out gathering them pretty slowly, and then I picked up a lot of momentum here at the end. And especially with the scale of this timeline, 1 inch being 1 month, it looks like I got a lot of them at the end. But that was over the span of a year and a half. So I don't have a problem, right? And I'm very thankful for all of you watching. If any of you have made it all the way to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for just enjoying the videos. I appreciate that people enjoy all the time I put into these videos, and that you right now are watching this. Leave me a comment and let me know which of these Balisongs is your favorite from my collection, and which Balisong, based on my collection and my opinions of these Balisongs, which Balisong that I don't have, which one do you think I would really enjoy? Let me know in the comments. And you should check out this video next. It was my submission for the LDY competition. It's my first flipping edit on this channel, but I did something a little bit different with the camera angle that you might not have seen with the Balisong video before. So I think you'll like it.